Hi, friend. I just want to thank you for being a part of this journey. I hope you, like me, have found this week to be completely worth the journey through Exodus, and particularly hanging in there and persevering with book 3 of Exodus. This has been glorious. We have learned so much about who the Lord is. In this chapter, we see all of his goodness. We see his name and what his name means. We see we learn about God's forgiveness and just how quickly he forgives. This is a stunning chapter to learn about the Lord. And it's also a stunning chapter for learning about what friendship with the Lord looks like. I love the friendship that Moses and the Lord have. And we've defined that word this week. I keep going back to it. But a friend in my Bible dictionary says somebody that you know well. So now Moses knows the Lord well. And someone that you have affection for. Moses loves the Lord. And then thirdly, someone that you trust. Moses trusts the Lord, and that has become evident. And we've seen his faith, we've seen his trust, we've seen all of these things grow in this journey through Exodus. But there's also, this friendship is a two-way street, right? We know that the Lord knows Moses, and he knows Moses by name. We know that the Lord has great affection and love for Moses. We also, I guess the question out there is, does the Lord trust Moses? And I think it's clearly evident in these two chapters that indeed the Lord trusts Moses. Actually, as I just speak that, I realize all of Exodus is flashing through my mind. The Lord has trusted Moses from the beginning, and Moses has proved himself trustworthy time and time and time and time again. So indeed, they have a friendship, and we learn a lot about what a friendship with the Lord looks like. Anybody else want that friendship? Yes, yes, and yes. So this is a good chapter to take, or chapters to spend some time to sit in. It's always good when we're wrapping up a chapter of scripture, or in this case, 2 chapters, just to take some time to go back and summarize and review and look at those things that we will hang on to, that we will cling to, and especially look at what is it we learn about who the Lord is. But it was good for me to do the summary. I had forgotten that at the beginning of Exodus chapter 33, verse 1, the Lord commanded Moses to depart. Take these people and go to the promised land. And he says he's going to take care of the people there. He's going to give them this land, but he is not going to be among them. He will send his angel before them, but he's not going to be among them. And that was the whole purpose of the tabernacle. That was the whole purpose of all of those instructions, almost the whole purpose of the 40 days on the mountains. I mean, we spent so much time learning about the tabernacle. And what was the purpose of that? To be the portable dwelling place of the Lord, where he would live amongst his people. They would camp all the way around him, and they would ever be assured of his presence. I mean, is that not a beautiful thing? And he says, that's not going to happen. I am, there's a good chance I will absolutely consume these stiff-necked people, these stubborn people. So he says he is not going to be amongst them. So that was how we began. And then Moses pitches a tent outside of the camp where Israel's encamped at the foot of Mount Sinai. And this is where he goes to meet with God. And that was stunning as well. We saw that there is distance between the people and God, just as the Lord said there would be. He goes before them. So Moses goes way outside of the camp in order to meet with God. And indeed, this is where they meet. The passage told us that the Lord speaks with Moses there as he would speak to a friend. Is that not beautiful? Again, who doesn't want that friendship relationship with the Lord, to hear the Lord speak? Friends, we can have it. We can have it. Moses, in this conversation, Moses asks, Lord, please show me now your ways that I may know you. That's the first prayer we see when Moses goes to that tent. Lord, please show me your ways that I might know you. Friend, what is the heart cry of Moses? He wants to know God. He wants to know him. And then we see he wants to experience him. He wants to experience the Lord's presence, which is that just encompasses everything that his name encompasses, that we learned about, that the Lord revealed. He said, the Lord, his name is Yahweh, and his name speaks to his grace, his mercy, his patience, his steadfast love and faithfulness. Moses wants to experience all of that. So in essence, he wants to know and enjoy God. And isn't that our heart cry? Isn't that why we are here digging into his word? That's the beautiful gift of the Bible, that we might know him and enjoy him and truly experience him in all of his glory. All right, so that was Moses' heart prayer. That was one of my favorite verses. Please show me now your ways that I might know you. We can learn, friends, from Moses' prayer. Here's a prayer that we can pray over and over and over again. This ought to be our heart cry. Here's a prayer of a friend of God. But Moses goes on and he boldly asks the Lord for his presence. That was Exodus 33:15. He even says, show me, Lord, show me your presence, show me your glory, meaning show me your presence. And what is so spectacular is the Lord agrees. He says, look, what you ask for, I will do it. I will be present with you, and I will show you my glory. Now go and meet me up on top of Mount Sinai once again. This time, bring 2 stone tablets. I'm not going to carve them out for you. You broke those. Bring 2 stone tablets, and I will rewrite those commandments, those 10 words for you. So the Lord does just as he says he would. Moses does just as the Lord asks him. He goes up to the mountain. He comes face to face with the glory of the Lord, and he spends another 40 days and 40 nights there fasting and just being present with the Lord. And the beautiful thing, look at what the Lord does. Look at what is so stunning. And what we learn about the Lord is that he is quick to forgive. He does forgive, and he is quick to forgive. Friends, we learn that God is a God of second chances. Doesn't that give you goosebumps? It does me. And I think we learn something about how we as his people, as his followers, are to forgive. We are to be people of second chances. We are to be quick to forgive. Like if we go to Exodus 33 verse 17, Moses asks his request, and the Lord is quick to respond. He doesn't hesitate to say, I will keep this covenant, or I will renew this covenant. We will have a covenant. He is quick to forgive, and he remains faithful to that covenant promise. He does set boundaries for the relationship. He does set boundaries for the promise, and that is fair. And we can learn from that as well. He's like, look, I don't want you worshiping other gods. I want you to be faithful to me. I am your husband. You don't need others in your life. I am yours. I want you to worship and be wholehearted and faithful to me. So he sets those parameters with the laws that he rewrites and has Moses rewrite. Moses ends up with those 2 tablets that symbolize that, yes, indeed, this covenant has been renewed. And friends, here is hope. Here's the evidence that God has forgiven and is giving them another chance. And he goes back down the mountain with his skin glowing and radiant from what? From the presence of the Lord. He has been in God's presence. Oh, friends, here's what it looks like to have a friendship with the Lord. Here's what it looks like. Being assured of the safety of his presence. Here is rest. Here's wholeness. Here's rest, here's wholeness, here's the glow of having a friendship with the Lord. And the beautiful thing is that we can sit in and we can apply is that when we seek friendship with God through Jesus, we receive the gift of his Spirit. We don't have to walk to the tent. We don't have to walk up a mountain. We receive the gift of his Spirit in these tents, in our bodies, that we might worship the Lord and be his friend. Oh, can we ask what our friendship with the Lord looks like? We know he knows us by name. We know that he loves us. Can he trust us? How is our obedience today? Are we seeking friendship with him? Are we seeking, is our first heart's desire to know him? Just like Moses, that's Moses's first heart's desire is to know the Lord. Lord, show me your ways. I want to know you. And Lord, I want your presence.